Very good morning, guys. First question first. Am I clearly audible to all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Any background noises?
No.
Prayers, chantings, nothing? Fantastic. Welcome all of you to this free demo class. My name is Ashish. I'll be your trainer throughout this session. Session means throughout the classes, right? Not just for this demo class. Now, let me quickly introduce myself and then we can move forward. Now, I have been doing the same thing since 2019. That was the first time I started my job as a trainer, and it has since then, I do only one thing, right? I only teach IELTS. Yes, I also have trained students for PT, but I guess IELTS is my forte. This is what I do best. I have completed my master's from DU, and I have done ELT in it, English Literature. Recently, I have also completed my certification for TOEFL, but I would say I'd stick to IELTS. So we are moving forward with the demo class. I hope all of you understand this, why we are here, and what IELTS is. But let's get some deeper understanding, right? Some do's and don'ts of this test. IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. Either we call this test as IELTS or IELTS. There is no other pronunciation for this. I have seen a lot of students, they call it IELTS or IELTS or something, right? But either you say it as IELTS or IELTS, that's it. Now, um, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. As you can see in the first circle, the red one, towards the end, in the last circle, they say open doors to higher education and various professions and migrations. That means there are two different versions of this test, right? One is used for higher education and second for various professions and migrations. So if you're guessing this, that's correct. We have two different IELTS tests. Both are around, let's say, 97, 98% similar. There is only one question which is different. One test is called as IELTS Academic for students who are looking for getting admission in some kind of academic institute, right? For a course, let's say a PG diploma, master's, degree courses, right? Research work and all. For you people, you have to opt for IELTS Academic. And for rest of you, that is IELTS GT. If you're a working professional, if you want to try your hand out in some kind of MNC overseas, that's when you have to opt for IELTS GT. We understand this? Any doubts? Any questions?
No.
Okay, great. Now, you can stop me at any point in this lecture, and you can ask your doubts, correct? Uh, my goal for this session is that towards the end, whether you choose to join the class or not, you will be understanding each and everything, right? There should be no confusions, no doubts, no questions left about this test, right? And let's work together to achieve this towards the ending. So they say here in the second circle, the purple one, world's number one English language proficiency test. I do understand how it sounds. It sounds like a gimmick, right? Like an advertisement or something, but it is not. I can assure you that. They have a lot of numbers to back it up, right? A lot of statistics to back it up. So 3 million tests were taken past year in 2024. That's great. Obviously, this is higher than the other proficiency test combined, right? We have TOEFL, we have Pearson test of English. Recently, we have Duolingo as well. Correct? So if you combine all of these, this is twice than that. Because you see, it is accepted by 11,000 organizations, not 10,000. This is 1 year old slide, right? They haven't updated it yet. So 11,000 organizations across 140 countries. I hope you understand we have 190 countries in total, out of which 140 accept IELTS as their default test. So I want you to try and fathom what kind of acceptance, what kind of limelight this test enjoys. None of the other tests can have this. This is the crown jewel of all the proficiency tests we have for English specifically. Now, when we talk about IELTS, we can never neglect these two brands. First, obviously, Cambridge, especially people who are opting for any courses, right? Who are trying to get admission in UK, Ireland, Scotland, right? That part. You must be knowing this. Cambridge is one of the oldest educational institutes we have on the planet for now. right? Around 400 year old. I'm not specific about it, but yes, 400 years old. And lot of dignified people, lot of great minds were able to like be the alumni of this institute. Let's say Isaac Newton, and also I'm not certain about it, but I think Albert Einstein was once serving as a professor of physics in this university for briefly, I guess, for 3 4 years. Anyway, so what does Cambridge has to do with your test, right? Number one, they have very major role to play. First, these are the people who prepare your test. These are the people who are behind your test, right? They prepare your test, number one. Number two, they publish material for us to study from, to practice from. Cambridge books we get, correct? Cambridge book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, till book number 18. These are the books we have to practice from. I would highly recommend, whether you join the course or not, you should always practice from Cambridge authentic books, right? This is their exam. It is advised that you should not practice from any other material. Now, once you enroll for this course, if you enroll for this course, you will be getting a link. It's a Drive link. You click that link, it will take you to Drive. You open the Drive, you will find 18 books along with all the audios in second folder. So two folders are there, right? 18 books plus all the audios. So those books are published by Cambridge. This is second good thing they do. Third, they assess your test. All the checking and verification and everything goes through Cambridge. And number four, they train us trainers. We have to go through certain certification program, right? Because not anyone can wake up in the morning and
सांगायला लागले की
himself
तुम्हाला
or
याच्यात
herself.
आम्ही पुस्तकं ही लिंक करून देऊ आणि ते तुम्ही वाचा.
Any questions you have for now?
होत्या मॅडम ते आल्यानंतर मग त्यांनी शेअर केल्यानंतर आपल्याला दिसेल.
Um,
बरं.
BRTC. I don't know who this is. Could you please just mute your mic?
मॅडम बोला ना, चालणार बोला ना मॅडम.
काय म्हणून
मी संगीता
मॅम संगीता
I'm very sorry for this. They must not be aware that their mic is open, right? Okay, let's continue. So yes, they also assess your test and they train us trainers. We have to go through a certain certification program. There are certain criterias through which we get the certification and license and all. That is done by Cambridge itself. And finally, IDP. This is where you start. You as a student do not have direct access with IELTS. You have to go through IDP site, which I'm going to explain as we move further. Here, IDP looks after everything, right? All the exams and all in Indian subcontinent. Now, this is the structure of your test. Your test is composed of 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. We all know this. LRWS, right? LRSW, whichever way you want to say it. Out of these 4 sections, listening, reading, writing, and speaking, your listening and reading are your passive modules. When I say passive, I mean that you don't have to actively create the content here, right? The content is created by someone else, maybe the writer, the speaker. Our job is to extract the correct answer and put it on the paper, right? Understanding, comprehension part. There is no negative marking in listening and reading. Whereas if you move forward with your writing and speaking, these are your active modules. You will have to actively create content here on the basis of some kind of prompt or a question which has been asked to you. Right? So here you get to experience some negative marking, which I'll explain as we move forward. Duration of the paper is 2 hours 45 minutes, but please try to understand this is only for your 3 modules. This is a 2-part test, right? 2-part test this is. In first sitting, maybe you will have to appear for your listening, reading, and writing. Speaking session happens separately. When I say separately, what I mean is between 5 working days. Between 5 working days before your other 3 modules, or between 5 working days after your other 3 modules, right? It is a separate interview session for speaking, a 3-part interview it is. Correct? Maybe 1 day prior or 1 day after, maybe 2 days prior or 2 days after your other 3 modules, maybe 3 days prior or 3 days after. So no one can have taken it. Correct? No one can decide that. You get the dates, you have to appear on the time, right? You have to do all the verification and processes and everything, and then it happens, right? The speaking interview. Any questions? Any doubts? queries? Okay,
No.
No.
great, great, great.
Can
Fine.
you hear
So,
me?
yes, I can. You're saying something.
No, sir. No.
No, sir.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay, so you understand this now. Total test time is 2 hours 45 minutes for your three modules for one sitting, listening, reading, and writing. Correct? And your speaking session happens separately. It might take 10 to 15 minutes, not more than 15. Never. So we understand we have two different type of IELTS, IELTS academic and general. Both are around like both of these exams they have just like 2% of difference. Only one question is different in your writing task. That's it. Academic is for students, correct? General training
Okay,
is
sir.
for everyone else. Okay, so we also have two different modes in which we can appear for this test. Number one is the crude one, the basic one, pencil and paper based test. Second one is computer based. Now, try to understand this. If you are kind of a person who has the kind of muscle memory, right, where your fingertips know better than you where each of the key is on the layout of the keyboard, that's when this test is for you. Correct? If you don't have to hit backspace quite often, this is you choose. Correct? I hope I was very clear with this, right? For everyone else, it's pencil and paper based. Now, if you're not certain which to choose, go ask any other IELTS trainers, and I can assure you, in 95% cases, maybe like 95% IELTS trainer will recommend you stick to the basic one, right? Pencil and paper based, right? Computer based. See, both of these tests are extremely similar if you are wondering that, right? In terms of difficulty, what kind of questions you get and all. Extremely similar. It's just that the experience would be different. One is on the screen, one is on the paper. That's it. It's simple. You get to choose whichever you want, right? Whichever you are comfortable in, you can choose that. But I would strongly recommend, if you have to hit backspace quite often, if you make mistakes, right? Frequently, occasionally, avoid sitting for computer based. Rest is up to you. Now, these are some of the key details. If your devices permit, please have a screenshot of this.
Okay. Later on the day.
So, the full name of the test we understand is International English Language Testing System, conducted by IDP Education Australia here in Indian subcontinent. As I've said, you'll have to go through their site. You do not have direct access with Cambridge. So this is the website www.ieltsidpindia.com. The score validity is 2 years. Now let me explain this properly. 2 years from the day when you book your test, not from the day when you get your results. Correct? So roughly it is a 15-day process. You book your test, you get your dates, right? You select the slot and you appear for your test. And from that point, it takes like 5 working days to get your result, 5 to 10, in some cases 10, but not more than 10, right? So 2 weeks. So from the day when you book your test, your score is valid for 2 years. So if you want a very precise um, timing, that is 23 months and 15 days. Correct? But I don't think it should matter to you as a student, right? 2 years is too much. Your total score will be judged out of 9 bands. My question to all of you is how many bands we have to get in order to qualify this test? Anyone of you know this? Anyone?
6. More than
Okay.
6.
It is 6.5, honestly,
Oh, 6.
right? Yeah, 6.5. But again, my second question is we have four modules. We understand that listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So, do I have to get 6.5 in all four modules, or do they average up? For example, I get 8 bands in writing, but I get 5 bands in listening. So, is that okay? Will they average?
Yeah.
No.
No.
6.5 bare minimum, right? But yes, this is the standard variant of the exam, but this might differ. How? What kind of course you choose will dictate this. Once you apply in the universities, you'll get a conditional letter, and in those conditions, they will also talk about IELTS score, right? They will also put certain conditions about your IELTS score. There are some courses where you don't need lot of let's say speaking, so it's perfectly fine if you score 6, not 6.5. But yes, in such courses, you'll have to do your writing more or reading more. So instead of 6.5 in reading or writing, they'll ask 7 bands. Is that clear? So it depends, correct? But yes, 6.5 is default, standard everywhere in the world in all 4 modules, right? So I hope I was able to explain that. If you have any doubts, please feel free to open your mics, right? Unmute it and ask me. It would be really great to have a two-way conversation, correct? Sometime it feels like I'm talking to a wall, right? Okay, so 9 bands, you have to score 6.5 bare minimum, no matter what. Now, exam fees, this is a dicey thing, right? Every year in the month of March, uh, the fees, the amount is increased by some a minor like increment is there. So last year this was 17,250. This year it might go up to 18,000, right? So take this with a grain of salt. You check it yourself on the IDP site, right? In March, but yes, what is certain is in March it is going to be hiked, right? You will see a minor hike in this, but for now you can consider 18,000, correct? Just hold that value in your mind. Payment mode, all of the payment modes are accepted. Credit card, debit card, Visa, MasterCard, ICICI Challan, everything is accepted, right? And every type of UPIs. I guess most of us are obviously going to go for UPIs, so all UPIs are acceptable. And then you have your exam duration. We know this. This is 2 hours 45 minutes. And now, as of we speak, we have 65 plus centers in India. Now, why do we have to know this? Because you need to choose this according to your availability, according to your convenience. Because as I've said, this is a two-part test, and you may see up to 5 days gap between your both of the parts, right? For your speaking interview, which is a separate interview, and your other 3 modules. So you'll have to plan things accordingly, up to 5. But usually, I have rarely seen anyone getting 5 days gap in it, mostly 1 day gap. In some cases, you just have to sit for your overall test in 1 day, same day. In the morning, you'll have to sit for your interview, speaking, and in the afternoon, your other 3 modules, right? Or vice versa. So most common is 2 or 3 day gap. 5 days very rare, very rare. So plan accordingly, right? Everything you plan beforehand and then you book your test, right? Choose the center which is closest to your home or where you have no issues regarding your fooding and accommodation and travel and everything. So 65 plus centers now in India. Now we are talking about important part, right? We are getting deeper into this. Okay, this is about your class structure now. So right from this demo, we have 30 classes, right? So if you consider this as a first class, the demo class where you get to understand about the examination and all, this is the first class, you get 30 classes in total, but 29 functional classes you have, right? So 29 functional classes. Maybe they are starting from tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whatever it is, you will get the link for the new class, the class one.
शुरू कर बेटा
So
बस
29 functional classes in which you get 2 mock tests, correct? First mock test at 50% course completion, that is after your 16th or 17th class, you'll have to sit for your mock test when. Second mock test towards the end of the course, right? Maybe 28, 29. Now, as I've said, if you enroll for this course, you're getting a link, a drive link, in which you will find all the authentic Cambridge material, all the books, book 1 from till book 18. So I would recommend you leave book 12 and 14 for here to practice in the class, right? You can practice other books at home from book 1 to 18. Just leave book 12 and 14. Do not practice from that because you will see a lot of content would be repeated for you, right? I want the class should be like very interactive and interesting for you, right? I'll try my 100, 200% to make that happen. Okay, so enough practice for all 4 skills. We would be starting with your listening. We are moving forward with your reading. Then we proceed with your writing. And finally, we will be doing your speaking interviews. Correct? And as soon as we are done with this, the cycle will continue. We'll again go back to listening, then reading, then writing and speaking. And this way, the classes will move forward. Now, about the test. All candidates are tested in all 4 modules, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Your listening test will extend up to 35 minutes, but that is maximum. But this can go as low as 27 minutes, but roughly 30 minutes on an average, right? This depends on the length of the audio, right? Sometime all four audios combined, they are up to 27 minutes. Sometime it can go up to 35 minutes, but that is very rare. So 30 minutes on an average. Okay, so that was about your listening test. Your reading test, you have precisely 60 minutes for that. Correct? We are going to get in a lot of details as we move forward in this demo about your reading, but for now, just understand that you have precisely 60 minutes for your reading test and you have to solve three long passages. For your writing, again, you have precisely 60 minutes, right? And you have to solve two questions. Now, if you sum up all the numbers from above, this is 2 hours 30 minutes, right? But here they say the total test time is 2 hours 45 minutes, excluding breaks. Any one of you can tell me where are these like 10-15 minutes extra coming from? Any one of you know this?
Speaking section.
No, no. Speaking is a separate session, right? We have it here.
Okay.
On the break.
I think for the checking of the listening
Ah,
exam.
yes, exactly, exactly. Perfect. Very nice. Vimal, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, Vimal, that's correct. You get 10 minutes extra if you choose to opt for pencil and paper test in your listening session. 10 minutes extra for your listening session if you choose to opt for pencil and paper based test. This is not valid for computer based, right? So 10 minutes is too much of time. You can use this to transfer your answers on your answer sheet. BRTC, I'm requesting you to mute your mic, right? It is creating a lot of interruptions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Sir, no questions.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for this. I don't know why it is creating a lot of background noises, right? It's slightly disturbing. Fine. So, in listening session, you have four parts, right? These are all the details about your listening. Four parts, four audios, part one, part two, part three, and part four. You have 40 questions to solve. So 10 questions in each of these parts. All of the audios you get here are from real world listening situations, right? Like real people talking. And you have a wide range of different topics and tasks. What you are expected to do is you have to listen for specific information, for example, dates, places, names, some of the details, the keywords, and all, correct? Numbers, etc. And you have to understand the gist. Gist means what is the overall context of the speech, and you have to understand speaker's attitude in that speech and opinions, right? Which I can promise you won't be very, very clearly pronounced, right? Writer or speaker, whichever it is, whether it is reading or you're speaking, it's same. So the speaker will never say that, yes, I completely support, let's say, EVs, and I totally want to abolish the idea of having traditional engines, right? Diesel, petrol engines. That's not going to happen. They will drop subtle hints here and there in their speech. It's our job to pick up those hints and come to a conclusion, correct? Extract the answers, put them on the paper. Now, this is your test format for listening. You have four parts. We understand that. You have to solve 40 questions. Again, we understand that you do not have any negative marking. That means I would advise you to not leave any question unanswered, right? Regardless of if you let's assume there is a situation where you're not sure about the answer. I want you to write something, but something means just not random things crossing your mind. No, not that. Something which you think you heard in the audio but you're not certain about it, please put it. Correct? Either way, if you leave it blank, you're not going to get any marks for that. Correct? Still you're getting zero for that particular answer. So if you think you have heard that particular word in the audio, just put there, right? In 80-85% cases, it's the correct answer, right? Because it's not coming from the intuition, it's coming directly from the audio for that reason only. So part one is a conversation between two speakers, everyday kind of conversation. I'll give the example of this. I'll explain this properly. assume a situation where two friends are talking, right? One of which has bought a new bike, let's say Royal Enfield 350, any of the 350s they have to offer. And they will be having a discussion, right? Um, what is the price of the bike? What is the engine specifications? Correct? And what other variants were available in the same price? Right? And what other options from different brands were available in the same price? Why did you not get that brand and all? So, general life conversations. If you want another example, let's assume a tourist talking to a waitress in a cafe, and he is asking about what are the delicacies they have to offer in that cafe, what is this particular city famous for, and where can he travel and visit different locations, right? Tourist spots.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please,
Like
Apurva.
in the listening section, we're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be like remember like so we are supposed to be like answering with the key dates, names and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Uh, my question is, are we provided any space to jot down these things, or are we supposed to like rely on a memory to do so?
Okay, fine. Um, have you seen the question paper, how it looks? Do you know how it looks?
Not really.
Fine. Anyone of you want to see how your question paper will look like? Anyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Lot of positive replies. Just hold on for a sec. Let me share my screen with you. Just give me a sec. So I hope you are getting the screen, right? Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. Apurva, this is how your question paper looks like, and you will see some
We
of the
can't
gaps in
see
between.
the screen. We can see the, yeah, it's visible now.
Okay, that might have to do with your network.
All right.
Yes. So here you can write your answers. Correct? What you do with your question paper, what you write on your question paper does not matter at all. Got it?
So,
After this,
like,
Mhm.
just a sec. So this
Yes,
will be
yes.
provided in print,
Yes, yes, exactly. A printed version of this will be provided for you. And this is how
and
your answer sheet
anything we
looks like.
write is okay.
Yes, on the question paper. But this is how your answer sheet
All
looks
right.
like, right? You have to put all your answers here, right? Clear?
Fair enough.
Okay, fine. But for computer based, you'll get a screen and you'll get different options A, B, C, D. You just have to click on the correct option. That's it. Okay.
That is my
Yes.
point. Like, if we get a computer-based exam,
Mm-hmm.
like if we
Mm-hmm.
choose that, then is there any space provided where we can jot
No, no, no,
something
no,
down?
no. You'll have to rely on your memory
So, all
completely.
right.
Yes. Apurva, if you're thinking that you will be getting the audio first and then you'll have to click on your answers, that's not how it's going to happen. Both of the processes will be simultaneous. You'll get your first answer first, correct? You have to click, then you move forward with your second answer in the audio, then third answer in the audio, and so on simultaneously. As you
So
listen
like
to the
they
audio,
play, yeah.
yes. Hmm.
So I was saying like they play a part of like a part of the audio and then they give a question and then they play another part of the audio and then they give another question. Is that what you're saying?
Hold on, hold on. Let me explain this properly to you. Just give me a sec. I'm sharing my screen again. This is how your question paper looks like. Uh, this is also very similar for your computer-based test, right? But instead of having this, you'll have to type this here, right? Your answer. So the speaker will start here at opening ceremony, first day, correct? And then he will speak about the town center and some extra details, and then you'll get your answer. For example, if this is starting at 7 a.m., so you will get your answer. And as you As soon as you hear your answer, you type it here, right? 7 a.m. Correct? And then the speaker will talk about mayor making some kind of speech, then some extra details of the speech, and then they will talk about some performance. Correct? Got it? As soon as you hear your answer, you have to type it here,
Right.
right? Same for the third answer, fourth answer, fifth answer. Is it clear now?
Yeah, it is. It's the same, like we will be getting the same exact thing, like not the same exact, but like a similar thing for the computer based as well, where we'll get the whole paragraph in one go and then
Yes.
they'll play their audio.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay,
You got it
got
now.
it. Yeah.
Perfect. So, we were talking about your listening test format. Part 1, we understand this is a general life conversation between two speakers. Part 2 is a monologue. Monologue is where only one speaker speaks, right? These are usually some kind of instructions. Try to understand this. Let's assume there is a situation where you have an HR manager and she is trying to explain all the company policies, the rules, right? Code of conduct, company visions and goals, and instructions regarding the parking, holiday policies, increments, and all, right? So, instructions, only one speaker speaks. If you want another example, take a tour guide and he's explaining all of the tourists regarding what kind of locations they will get to enjoy, right? Some instructions regarding their food, their accommodation, their travel, their medication, if they have some, what kind of activities are covered in the fees, for what activities they will have to pay on themselves, right? Any instructions regarding what kind of weather they may expect, what kind of clothes they need to pack, correct? Instructions where only one speaker speaks, that is a monologue. Part 3 is a conversation. This can also be a discussion with up to 4 speakers, up to 4 people. Just hold on a moment. I think I'm getting a message here. Uh, Shriraj, I'm responding to your query. So if you're opting for pencil and paper based test, it does not matter what you do with your question paper, right? You can jot down some notes, right? You can do all your scribblings, correct? Everything and anything. I hope that's clear now. Part 3 can be a discussion with up to 4 people. Usually, this is like 3 students, they are discussing about their project, right? There's some kind of assignment, an academic topic with one of their seniors or their HODs or their professors and lecturers, right? So if you have noticed, you will see there are downward arrows here. These arrows indicate the difficulty level. Part 1 is super easy, relaxing. You just have to sit back, relax, just be normally attentive, and you can score 10 on 10 here, right? All 10 answers correct, no problem. Part 2, you will understand a minor difficulty in question type because you will get MCQs here, right? One question, 3, 4 different options, and you have to choose the correct one. If you're not attentive, you will feel that all of the options seems as a correct answer, right? But you have to be very mindful about what exactly they're asking from you and what they said in the audio, right? So you have to be slightly more attentive here. Part 3, here you will understand the shift of tone. Shift of tone in the sense, the earlier 2 parts, part 1 and part 2, were more colloquial in nature. Colloquial means everyday life English, general life English, right? Here it is more of academic and formal version of the language, the elaborated version. Even the content would be more academic in nature, right? So be mindful about that. Part 4 is purely academic lecture, correct? It starts at one point, it ends at one point. It's a linear lecture going on. You just have to fill in the blanks, right? Fill the gaps in between. By the law, this should be the most toughest one, but this is not. This is as easy as your part 1, correct? So be mindful about this. Now, this is some general information about your listening test. Recording will be played only once. There is no play button, no pause button, no rewind button, nothing. You as a student do not have any control over the audio. Yes, you might get a headphone and you will see a knob to adjust your volume, but that's all the control you have over the audio. But yes, you will get some time in between to read the questions, like 30 seconds or 1 minute, right? Depends on what kind of question type you are solving. You will be provided all the instructions when you listen to the audio. You have to read the question carefully before listening. I cannot emphasize enough on how important this is for you to understand. See, if you are confused with the question, if you're not certain exactly what they're asking from you, it is highly likely that you're going to make mistakes in what you choose as answer, right? So read the question carefully before you listen to the audio. Try to understand, try to contemplate what exactly they're asking from you. That's when you can you can be assured that you're going to choose the correct answer. You have to familiarize yourself with different question types. For example, completing the chart, navigating through a map, note-taking exercises, and MCQs, old famous MCQs. One question, three, four different options to choose from, and you choose the correct answer, you move forward with that. Now, about your reading format. You have 60 minutes precisely, right? Not 59, not 61. Precisely 60 minutes. You have 3 long reading passages.
Sorry to be interrupting. Is there negative marking in the section?
No, in your listening and reading, there is no negative marking,
All right.
right? These are your passive modules. You only have negative marking in your writing and speaking, correct? Okay, hold on a moment. I'm getting a question. This is from Eldridge. Eldridge, I'm responding to your query. Eldridge, there are different question types. You don't get options for all 4 parts. No. Hold on. Let me show this to you. See, here you have fill in the blanks. You move forward with your section 2. You see MCQs, right? This is match the pair kind of questions. Again, you see some MCQs, right? Some blanks you have to put here. And this is section 4, which is a lecture. This is always fill in the blanks. Clear?
Okay, but the options would be provided there, right?
Not always. Not
Okay.
always.
Okay, got it, got it.
You mean to say like this, right? A, B, C,
Yeah,
D?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
always.
Okay,
For example, in these blanks, you don't see any options here. You'll
right,
get your answers in the speech.
right, got it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'm glad you guys are asking your doubts, right? Because a lot of people have doubts, and in the first class, they are slightly like afraid of opening their mic. I don't think afraid, maybe shy of opening their mics. So thank you very much for bringing this up. So you have 60 minutes precisely for your reading test, and you have 3 long passages for IELTS academic, 5 short passages for IELTS GT, but it does not matter, right? The practice is same because the question types you get here are same and everything, the kind of skills you have to develop for this is same, right? So if you're choosing academic, you have 3 long passages. If you're choosing GT, you have 5 short passages. Again, similarly, um, you have 40 questions here, right? This is similar to your listening session. You had 40 questions there. In reading also, you have 40 questions. 13 questions you get in your reading passage 1, 13 questions in your reading passage 2, and 14 questions in your reading passage 3. Now, all of the texts are taken from books, magazines, journals, and newspapers. I would say book 1 to book 18, the Cambridge books which you get if you opt for this course, um, those are sufficient for your reading practice. But if you feel like if you want to practice out of uh, the books, right, I would say go for magazines. I would recommend 2 magazines, American Scientists and National Geographic. Earlier, we used to have that channel, right? The yellow rectangle one. They publish magazines. Their magazines are fantastic. Why magazines specifically? Why not books? Because books are extensive, right? Exhaustive. You'll have to like be in continuity for a very long time. For that reason, not books. Magazines are great because they have a very um, vibrant range of different topics, correct? Especially these magazines. And the content is fairly academic, right? So in the first article, they must be talking about some kind of distant galaxy they found by the James Webb Telescope and how it is making a new breakthrough in the scientific world, right? In astronomy and all. In the next article, they must be talking about bitcoins and cryptocurrencies, right? Next article, they will talk about different kind of missiles and warfare strategies, correct? And different aircrafts, right? US and Russia's are like competing for. Next paragraph, they're talking about some kind of species of microorganisms they found under the Caspian Sea or something, right? You got it, right? A wide range of topics you get here. So again, you have similar question types in your reading test as well. Find detailed information about, you have to identify the attitudes and views, and you have to complete a diagram or a flowchart or a process, and old famous MCQs. One question, two, three, four different options you have to choose from. These are general reading strategies. You have to be efficient in these two skills. One is scanning and second is skimming. I hope you have heard this before, right? Scanning and skimming. Any one of you know what this is? Okay, fine, no problem. Scanning is you hunting down the keywords from the text, right? The keywords, the important words. And skimming is exactly opposite of this. Skimming is you trying to extract the central idea of each of the paragraphs and the entire passage. Correct? These two processes. We'll talk about this in a lot of details, right? And we'll learn how to do this in your reading session. But for now, I hope you understand. Scanning is you hunting down the keywords, right? Specifics, the details. And skimming is you getting the overall idea of what this particular passage is about. Now, about your writing. The time you have for this is 60 minutes. We know this for sure. Precisely, right? Not 59, not 61, precisely 60 minutes. You have to execute two tasks. Let's talk about task one. The maximum time you can spend for your task one is 20 minutes. Now, it's up to you. If you want, you can spend 30 minutes. But again, for writing task two, you will again have 30 minutes then. Got it? It is not advised. So, maximum you should be spending on this is 20 minutes. But as a trainer, I would recommend you should spend around 18 minutes on this, right? You should have 2 minutes extra, which you can carry forward in your writing task too. In this task, for academic, I'm specifically talking about academic. You will always get an infographic, right? Describe a picture kind of question, but it's not like a scenery or something, right? It will be either some kind of charts, like line charts, bar chart, correct? Pie charts and all. Or you may get a map, or you may get a process diagram or a table. So everything you have is there right in front of you. All the data is encoded here. Your role, your job is to extract the data, make it into a very formal report, right? Bare minimum 150 word report, and you move forward, right? This is your writing task one for academic. For GT, what you'll have to do is just hold on for a moment. Apologies for the interruption. Yes, for GT, you'll have to write a letter, a 150 word letter. Correct? Maybe formal, informal, both. Now, for task two, you have 40 minutes. You should have 40 minutes, right? That is like bare minimum. You have to write a 250 word essay in response to an opinion or a problem, right? So in most cases, you get essay where you have to choose between either of the sides, two sides you have. Which food is more healthy for humans to consume, vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food, correct? It's up to you which you want to choose. You have to write essay on explaining this. There is no right or wrong answer. Whichever you choose is a correct answer. Choose according to your expertise, your understanding of the subject, right? Choose the topic which you can explain very clearly, simply, easily. Now, what they're expecting here that you should be discussing the issues, construct an argument, and use the appropriate tone and language. Now, when I say appropriate tone, is there any inappropriate tone as well? What do we mean by this? What is appropriate tone?
Maybe a formal tone.
Exactly. You have to be as formal as possible to the best of your abilities, Apurva. That's correct. Fantastic. Formal tone. These are very formal pieces of writing. You have to be formal, right? What do you want? No. How may I be of assistance? Correct? Got it? This kind of formality. And language, yes, obviously. The kind of vocabulary you choose for this is very important. Send? No. Dispatched? Got it? No. Received it. Right? Very formal version of the language. Now, these are some general writing strategies. Read the question carefully. Now, when they say read, they mean contemplate on the question, right? Reflect on the question. What exactly they're asking from you. Correct? That's when you can make sure that you are giving the correct response. You have to make yourself familiar with the description of data in newspapers and textbooks. Now, let me put it in layman terms. What they're asking is you don't need to be an expert of one particular subject. IELTS does not demand you to be an expert of one subject. What IELTS asks is you should know something about everything, right? Something about geopolitical tensions we are having right now, something about nature, environmental problems, something about tech, IT, computers, right? Maybe something like roughly scratch surface knowledge, right? And you have to practice formulating your own ideas around those topics. I hope I was able to explain this to you, right?
Sir, and task to like a debate, right?
Yes, in most cases, you may consider that as a debate because you have two variants. In 90% cases, you will get a question where you have two sides to choose from, right? Electric vehicles or traditional engines, right? Petrol, diesel engines. Whichever you choose is a correct answer. There is no right and wrong answer, but you have to put a very strong argument. In the rest 10% cases, you will get a question where you have a PCS, problem cause solution kind of question. There will be a problem
Can
given,
we
they
get
are asking.
example of task one and task two both?
Yeah, obviously, why not? Hold on. This is example of task one. The chart below shows how frequently people in USA ate in fast food restaurants between 2003 and 13. Correct? This is a kind of infographic. I hope you're getting the screen, right? Can you all see the screen? Can anyone of you please confirm this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We can see this.
Perfect. Thank you very much for this. Yes, this is your task one, and this is your task two. In number of countries, some people think it is necessary to spend large sums of money on constructing new railway lines for very fast trains. This is one side of the coin. Others believe the money means that same money should be spent on improving existing public transport. You have two views here. One is supporting bullet train project, right? Second view is supporting, you don't need bullet trains in the country. You first need to improve what you have in your hand. Correct? Metros, buses, trams, right? Cabs, Ola, Ubers, Rapidos and all. Got it? Two sides. You only can choose one. Is it clear now?
In task one, we have to analyze the data and write the appropriate data coming from that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
So is it any kind of article?
Sorry, I was not able to hear the last part. Can you please repeat that?
Is it any kind of article writing in which we have to take the
No, you have to
data
make
as
a report of it. Report.
okay, as a report?
Yes. You need to make a report of it.
We need to make the report with our own idea.
No, for example, this particular question, you have a map here. You need to report about this map. You need to make a report of this map. This is the current state of the town center. This is how it will look after the redevelopment, right? The future planning. Correct? You have to make report what you can see now, how it is now, and how it will look in future. Got it? What new things are being added? Correct? What renovation work will be going on? Can you see this? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of changes you may expect in the layout of the town planner, right? I hope you're getting this. Okay, fine. Don't worry. I'll explain everything to you, everything, each and everything in a lot of details. Now, let's move forward with your speaking session now. I hope you understand this that the speaking session is a separate session, right? A different session from your other three modules. You have 10 to 15 minutes for this. This can be a face to face interview between one candidate and one examiner, but this can also happen over some kind of platform like Skype or Zoom or maybe Google Meet, correct? So, like on screen interview, this can be not always face to face. No one can have any control over this. This depends on the center, on the availability of the trainer, and all. You have three parts in this interview. Part one, introduction and interview. General questions you're getting here, right? So they will ask around 5 to 9 questions in part one. Simple questions. You don't need any prior knowledge to respond to these questions. Like, what do you do in your free time? What kind of music you like to listen? Correct? Um, what are the most famous people in your city? What is the most popular street food of your city? How does your home look like? Getting the point? No prior knowledge required. Simple questions, extremely simple questions. You have to like answer in some details, right? 3, 4 sentence response. Part two is arguably the most challenging part. I'm not saying difficult at all. This exam itself is not difficult, right? So I can never say that. Challenging slightly. Here you have to make a short speech just because of that. And because we are not familiar giving short speeches, for that reason only. You get 60 seconds to prepare your answer. You get a question, you get 60 seconds to prepare your answer, and you have to speak for 2 minutes, right? A 2 minute short speech you have to deliver. Got it? In your part two. For example, talk about a time when you were late for something extremely important, right? Or talk about the dream house you're going to build for yourself when you get rich. Or talk about your favorite tourist destination. Or talk about the most busiest market in your hometown. Getting all of you? The questions are extremely simple. It's just that we have to speak for a very long duration of time, right? Continuously. For that reason only it's challenging. Otherwise, it's just a piece of cake. Was I clear with this part two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Part three, again, it's exactly similar as your part one. Exactly. Again, 5 to 7 questions for you here. Same things. Now, speaking strategies. In fact, these are all your speaking criterias on which they will going to judge your speech. First, speak fluently and link ideas coherently. Your speech should not feel choppy, right? Correct? Fragmented. No. Try to gain control over your sentences as you execute them one after another. That is fluency. You have to link your ideas coherently. Now, you cannot talk about like things randomly, especially in your part two. You have to have a proper logical flow to your answer, a proper introduction, some of the details you choose in between, right? And a proper conclusion. Got it? This is specifically for your part two. Then you have to demonstrate a proper range of appropriate vocabulary. I hope we understand that we have a lot of synonyms in English, right? For like simple things, correct? But all of these synonyms, even though they are just synonyms, they are not exactly similar, right? They can be used in different contexts. And like the meaning, the sense, the overall sense can change because all of these synonyms, they carry a different unique sense to themselves. Correct? So it depends. If you have to explain something very, very big, will the word big justify the size, right? It won't. There are different synonyms. Maybe huge, humongous, gigantic, colossal, galactic, right? Gargantuan, right? Heaping, towering. All of these are synonyms for big. But yes, all of these, they carry a different sense to them. So, appropriate vocabulary, correct? That means they are expecting a wide range of vocabulary from you. You're not supposed to use repeat words again and again. Point number 3, use accurate grammar and appropriate language. I don't know why this is at third place. This should be at the first place. This is the base requirement of your speech. It needs to be grammatically accurate, right? For most of the part. There are minor mistakes which are acceptable in the range. Got it? Minor mistakes, but not major. Accuracy of grammar, they are talking about the accuracy of your tenses. Is this clear? And appropriate language, obviously. And point number 4, speak so that the listener can understand. This has nothing to do with the rate of speech, right? All of us can have a different rate of speech, right? There are great speakers who speak very fast. I remember that one bald guy um, on like YouTube shorts and reels and all. He speaks very fast. I cannot remember his name, but he was a boxer earlier, but he is now a very good speaker, influential speaker.
Are you talking about Andrew Tate?
Yes, exactly. Yes. He was MMA fighter earlier. I don't know what kind of person he was, but what I can tell you is he's a great speaker. He can move masses, right? If you see, he speaks extremely fast. He don't even give you time to think about what he's speaking. Correct? That's his style. My point is, it does not matter how fast you speak or how slow you speak. If you see Atal Bihari Vajpayee, one of the greatest speakers we had in India, right? Earlier, he used to speak very slow. He was master of pauses, right? He used to make his listeners extremely curious, right? So it depends, correct? Here, they are talking about your fluency and your pronunciation. Your words should be crystal
So
clear.
in this, we have to go Andrew Tate very much.
Sorry, what? Can you come again? Your voice is
So in the
breaking.
speaking test, we have to be Andrew Tate or Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Either we have to be very fast or we have to be very slow.
You don't have to become Andrew Tate or Atal Bihari Vajpayee. You can just be yourself, right? It does not matter. The rate of speech does not matter at all. Correct? What matters most is the clarity of your voice, right? Your pronunciation, your words, the way you execute them. Clear? Please don't worry about the rate of speech.
Yeah, okay.
I hope I'm very clearly audible to you. Okay, fine. Now let's talk about your scoring scheme. Candidates receive a score on the band scale of 0 to 9, from 0 to 9. 0 is when you apply for the test, right? When you book your test, you pay the fees and you do not show up on the center. That's when you can get 0. In any other case, you can never get 0, right? Even if you're just like, even if you just ask something with some kind of gestures, that is even 1. But I don't think you should be worrying about till band 5. Anyone who's joining this meeting is bare minimum band 5.5. Bare minimum, bare minimum. Correct? If you're using Android devices, Apple devices, right? If you live in 2025, if you use computers, right? If you have laptops and you're a student, 5.5 is bare minimum, modest user of English language, regardless of what your mother tongue is. 60-70% of the content you speak in modern world is English, right? Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi. What other name do you have for that, right? Mobile is mobile, correct? Getting the point here? Since like the beginning of the day, we start speaking in English, right? We use most of the words. We use our English, toothpaste, toothbrush, socks, right? I'm getting late. I have to fill the petrol, right? Bike is not starting. Everything you speak, every sentence you speak, there will be some words which are from English language. So things start to get interesting after band 6. The candidate has generally effective command of the language despite of some inaccuracies, minor inaccuracies, inappropriate usage and misunderstanding, right? The candidate can use and understand fairly complex language, particularly in familiar situations. Nice. That is 6 bands. Bare minimum requirement for this is 6.5, slightly above this. Band 7 is a good user. Let me explain this properly to you. The average proficiency of a native speaker, right? Citizens of UK, US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, their average proficiency is 7.5 bands. Got it? You scoring 8 band means it's very good proficiency, correct? You are grammatically more accurate than a native speaker. That is 8 band for you. 8.5, you can go and teach them now. 9 band, you can come into proficiencies. Got it? 9 band is the expert user. But this does not mean that expert user cannot make mistakes. There is a range of mistakes which are acceptable in this 9 band category, right? I'll explain the number one quality which is required for a 9 band user. These people, they know where they make mistakes, they know how many mistakes they make, and they themselves can rectify all the errors they make. Correct? They make mistakes only because English is not their first language. For that reason only. They don't need any external medium or source to understand and like rectify their errors. Got it? This is a band 9 user for you. Well, that's the end of it. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions for me? We can have a quick Q&A session here.
Sir, on a daily basis, like how this essays would be evaluated and feedback would be passed?
On a daily basis, how essays will be evaluated. We are not doing essays every day, right?
Not every day, but like
Mhm.
we start once the session is done, we start practicing it, right? So if we practice daily and if we send it for evaluation, then we would be able to know where are we standing. Not only essay, but all the modules.
Okay.
So like
See,
how
we
evaluation is done.
start with your listening session. We complete till your section 4 here, and we'll try to complete this as soon as possible. Maybe
Mhm.
it might take more than one session for your listening audio, right? Initially, not every time. Then we move
Yes.
forward with your reading, correct? We have 3 separate timers for passage 1. Then you have your passage 2 here,
Mhm.
right? Again, separate timer for this. Then we discuss all the answers. Then you have your passage 3, right?
Mhm.
Then you'll have a timer. We'll try to solve this. And after that, we're going to discuss all the answers from here, which you can see, right? Till question number 40th, right? 40 questions in total, you understand this. Then we move forward with your writing task one. We'll have a separate timer, right? 20-minute timer for this. Then we will try to get all the different reports, right? We'll try to evaluate them. And then we'll move forward with your writing task two. We'll try to understand how the structure is, correct? And then we move forward. Finally, we have your speaking interview. So this is how the classes are structured. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Mhm. And once you're done, you must be practicing at home, right? So if you
Yes.
practice at home, you can send it to me. Whatever,
That's what
whatever
I
you're
had.
practicing, you can send it to me on my WhatsApp.
Sure.
Correct? But yes, one more thing. I cannot respond to all of you immediately, right? I get around like sometimes 100 messages in a day. It is very difficult for me to respond to all of the messages immediately, right?
Yeah.
So you may expect your response after maybe 1 day or 2 days.
Sure.
Got
Okay.
it? So that I have to give right away, the disclaimer.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I had a question.
Okay, fine. Anything else you have for me? Any questions?
Nothing from me, sir. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for bringing this up.
What do you mean by B2 level of English?
Okay, this is the proficiency level, right? In terms of IELTS score, this is, let's say, 7.5 to 8 bands. Anything else?
No.
Okay, fine. I guess we are done here then, right? The class is concluded. I'll see you all in the next class. Thank you very much for having me. You enjoy your day.
Sir,
Yes, I'm listening.
where can I find this Cambridge material?
Once you enroll for this class, you will get a link. In that
Oh,
link, you will see all the material, right? For you to download offline.
okay. Thank you.
Yes, also one more thing. All of you get class recordings, right? 30 recordings you get right from this demo class.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Still
Yeah.
here.
Are we going to have class every day?
Yes, every day, except
Uh,
for Sunday. From Monday to Saturday, we have classes.
okay, fine.
So, I just had a doubt. You were talking about the negative marking in the writing, I guess,
Yes, writing and speaking both.
writing and speaking. So,
Yes.
what the exactly negative marking means? Is there a
Okay.
particular? Uh,
Fine. Let me explain this. You get negative marking if you repeat a lot of words, right? For example, if you use one word, let's say increase, 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 5, 6 times, all of these words will be cancelled and treated only as one, right? You have to show a variety, correct? It's fine if you use it for up to 3 times. The moment you use this 4th time, the moment you repeat this for the 4th time, all of the words will be cancelled. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, then you have your spelling mistakes, punctuation errors, errors related to the structure of your sentences, grammatical errors and all. Here you get negative marking.
So, sir, in that case, we have to use the synonym, right?
Yes, synonyms. Alternatives. But the appropriate one, right? Not all synonyms are correct in all the context. Anything else? Hold on, I think I'm getting a message here. In computer-based exam, can we go back to a question? Yes, you can. Yes, you may go back. Fine. If we are done here, I would like to conclude the class and I'll see you all tomorrow. You enjoy your day, all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank
I
you,
hope
sir.
I was able to provide some value to you in this
Thank
session.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Thank you very much.